Some kid just rode by on his bike and just completely just locked eyes with me through the window. So about a year ago, give or take, I'm coming home from my art history class. I warm up my leftover, probably leftover ramen, and I sit down on my cardboard couch, turn on my favorite TV show, YouTube, whatever's on the home page. What is that video on? Art, the thing that I had been studying all day and for the past 4 years. So, is this super, we'll just say a long time coming? Did I use that phrase right? It doesn't matter. But I figured I'd sit down and I'd talk about, I should tell you what I'm talking about. KallMeKris, it was KallMeKris. I love it whenever I see YouTubers talking about fine art because that is, like I've said before, that is what I studied. So I love fine art, I love art history, especially painting. That is my
beat the devil out of it.
If I learned anything from art history, it's that art critics and art collectors, they all suck. You can't understand my art. Nobody understands my art. So I figured I would go ahead and I'd review KallMeKris, as I said before, talking about this expensive art. I've got the history knowledge and stuff, and I completely agree with her on most of the stuff. I just thought that I would throw some like fine artsy knowledge. I paid like at least $10 on an art degree, so I was like, I might as well share it. I'm giving you art degree facts for free. So, anyways, let's go.
At number 15, we have Gerhard Richter. Like, I'd look at this painting and I'd think it's, neat. Like, I like colorful stuff. I could easily do this myself.
Yeah, most people can with abstract work like this. The thing is more like, will you do it yourself? Because something that images on the computer don't pick up usually is how large these are. I assume this one is large. Pretty much everything that Gerhard Richter works in is large. He was one of the first artists that I learned about in my abstract class. Abstract's so fun. I'm assuming most of these are going to be abstract. If I remember correctly, it's been like a year since I've seen this. Abstract and abstract expressionism, that's usually what the art critics like because, they can pretend that, the masses just don't understand it.
It's like 100 layers of just different colors. It looks like it'd be time consuming.
Yeah, time consuming, and like I said before, did I say before? I don't know. The facilities to make this kind of stuff, because he makes, his shows are huge. They're giant. I think he was called, the Picasso of contemporary art, which I think Picasso sucks. So I'm not going to be calling him that because I like Gerhard Richter's work and I don't like Picasso. We barely studied Picasso because he sucks. That's besides the point. I'm sure Picasso's going to be in here too. My cat wants it. Hi, buddy. Nani? All right. I completely forgot what I was talking about. I'm sure it wasn't important.
$27.6 million? Bitch, that's a yacht.
That is a stupid amount. I'll be honest, Gerhard Richter, the artist, is probably seeing just a fraction of that. I bet I will need to look into this. Every artist is different. I know I worked in a gallery for a little bit. It was a pretty big gallery in a place. I don't know if I'm at liberty to say because I did get fired. They would buy the work from the artist, they'd mark it up 200%, and then they profit.
Next we got 14, Joan Miro, probably saying that name wrong. Femme au chapeau rouge in 1927. Okay, we're going down. It's older, well-known artist. It looks like the start of something that could be interesting, but it's not.
I agree. This kind of art, I bet it looks better in person, I'm sure. I do wonder if he mixed his own black and white. Ooh, I wonder in this older stuff that they sell, how much of it is lead. That's the stuff that they would paint. They'd paint with the lead paint and it would make them go kooky. They say that is the truest white that you can paint with, is with the one using lead. And you apparently can still get it. Certain artists, I won't.
Yes, I see. Yes, it looks like a dove upside down, maybe symbolizing that the fact that the world isn't all that it seems to be.
So with abstract work, you're not supposed to assign it a shape or a thing that it looks like. But with this sort of stuff, then I'm like, bro, how can you not? I think of most art collectors and sellers as kind of like car salesmen. More often than not, these paintings are kind of an exploration for the artist to be hey, I want to create like my vocabulary of mark making. Let me just like, practice on this big ass piece. And then a collector will come into the studio and be like, that one, I see what you were doing there. I understand what you were doing there. It's on. And
the painter's just like, I took copious amounts of drugs and I just threw paint at the wall.
We lost power. Well, the lighting still works. Maybe I prefer this lighting.
Okay, next we got Clyfford Still, 1947, $28.7 million as well. Oh my god, this looks like shit.
I like this one. I'm sure this looks a lot better in person. I'm sure it's another ginormous piece. Because usually with this kind of artwork, then it is all about standing in front of it and just kind of like the texture of the paint and the colors and stuff just kind of like, no. I'm sure it translates better in person.
Look at this. It looks like it's unfinished, or he started to use like a different medium here.
Like, I'm not gonna go into why the composition is really good because no one cares. But it's a good composition. I am a sucker for like really high contrast. It is a personal thing. I know they say art is subjective, and I always hate that because no, it's not. Either a piece is good or it's not. But some people are gonna like it, some people aren't. And I like this, but then again, I did spend the last 4 years of my life just staring at paintings. So maybe it's sad that I like it because it means that I don't have a social life.
It looks like he was using oil paint and then he tried to put acrylic on top of it with like water.
I believe it is oil paint. Don't put acrylic on top of your oil paint. That is a very bad thing to do. Water-based media and oil-based media, water and oil don't mix. Don't paint with them together. If you do paint with them together, there is a way to paint with them together, but it's a very specific way. So just don't.
This is like, no offense, but somebody that was probably going through something mentally and just put it on a painting, and then people of sound mind just thought it was interesting.
Not all artists are going through mental stuff. But I don't have a social life. Sometimes you just want to explore what the paint can do. Probably he was going through something. I'm going through stuff usually whenever I make my paintings. Are you going through something, or are you just sleep deprived? That's usually what it boils down to.
I don't know. I feel like I could just make so many paintings that would sell like this. But it's all about names. It's all about name brand. It's Gucci. It's Louis Vuitton.
That is fair. The art making world and then the art selling world are two very different. It's like a parasitic relationship. Because art isn't like a needed thing, then we do need art, like somebody that can market our pieces and sell them. Chris is absolutely correct, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, except we have Pablo Picasso.
I don't even want to talk about this guy. All he did was appropriate work.
Femme
de gross, more like.
This is interesting. 29.2 million.
No, it's not. There's better cubist art out there that like worked during this time. This is just, Picasso's like the nepo baby of cubism. I hated him.
I get it. It's a Picasso, but there's a lot going on in this painting. I respect this. I think out of all of them, this is the most interesting so far.
Don't fall for it. Don't fall for this cubist propaganda. Don't do it. Picasso sucks. This sucks.
And then shit like this. Go f*** yourself.
This guy does kind of suck. Yeah, this it's a line.
How much did this sell for? $30.9 million for what? What even is this? It could be a really long building. It just looks like a POV, like looking down at a road. Is tinted blue? I don't know. This is so dumb. Oh god, I hate it.
It's like, if this is 1948, I believe this was after the abstract expressionist movement. I believe. Abstract expressionism was all about like, oh, we're gonna put so much on the painting or and explore like what the paint can do, how it reacts with itself, blah, 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 because history has a pattern. And so after like, just like the sheer amount of like chaos, from that you would spark the opposite reaction in the next painting movement, where it was as little as possible. Where let's see what the paint can do, and the pigments can do when we have as little going on as possible, and it is like the most planned out thing. Was it interesting? No.
Except we have Brice Marden Compliments, it's called. This is
Now, whenever I look at this, I think it would be more of like an exercise in like how the paint layers, because like yellow over like a really dark background doesn't always show up. How do you keep all of your like paint lines the same? I'm sure he had like a process for all of this, so it's like, it's kind of fun. It makes me think of yarn. better than the Blue Road.
$3.9 million. What the? Get out of here. What? Next up, we got a guy.
Mark Rothko is a big name. He had a style. I'm dying. The power's out. It's hot as fuck. I have a sweater on. It's raining outside. My cat's mad at me. But anyway, I saw one of his pieces, IRL, and yup, it's a bunch of, you know, squares. Personally, I think he's like kind of plays with depth a bit, you know, like different pigments on top of each other, different paint qualities, kind of like, ooh, plays with like the shapes and the fish in the bowl and all that nonsense art stuff.
Oh, untitled? He couldn't even title this painting? What?
Most paintings in this time were untitled, and that is because, like I said before, abstract expressionist was all about the process, not the product. And so if you're making like 5 paintings in a day, then why would you take time to name it? Because they're basically all just practices, like exercises.
Sold by billionaire investor Ronald Perlman, who liquidated a large portion of his collection amid plans to restructure his financial portfolio. That's all this art is for. It's just for the rich to get even more rich. It's all a conspiracy. Everything's fake. Art is a lie. Nothing is real.
Okay, I am in no way defending like the actual artist, except for when I am. I'll make it very clear whenever I am. Most of these guys, Picasso, Pollock, suck absolute fucking. They like created this atmosphere of pretentious nastiness and I am holier than thou because I can put a bunch of colored sludge on a bunch of fabric better than you can.
And I hate it. Okay, now this I kind of get. Sanyu, Quatrenus, 1950s, naked women. It was clear that he did the background after he painted the women, which is like so novice for a painter to do.
Painters paint however the fuck they want to paint. Everyone has their own way. The rules of painting, they're made to be broken, okay? How you break them, that's what makes you a good or a bad artist, you know? I don't know if this is what he did, but like Chris predicted, where he like painted the background and the people at the same time, it creates a cool effect. So he's memorable. And like I said before, the vocabulary mark making that each artist kind of has, where it's like that's their style. That's how you can recognize their piece, is how they paint. That is like, that's his, you know, all in one go, ping bang boom, you know, that's his choices, how he paints, it's fine. There's no fixed way to paint. Only rules of painting that you should really apply are the ones that are gonna fuck up the piece. Like I said before, acrylic and oil, nah.
This is ridiculous. Cy Twombly, another untitled artwork in 1969.
It looks very much like it is an exercise in gestural mark making. Or maybe it's a code. Maybe it's like a secret code, like the Declaration of Independence show with Nicolas Cage. Maybe he's trying to tell us something.
At number 5, we got David Hockney, Nichols Canyon. Okay, this is fun. This is like a fun painting. This is something I'd put up in my house, I think. But mostly because it looks it's colorful, but it's also very childlike. Like I'd put this in a guest bedroom or something, you know? It also just like every section is painted something different.
You also notice that, once again, I'll paint it in the same go. Background. Well, there isn't really a background to this, is that? Because he's kind of like fudged the perspective. So that could be a reason why he didn't paint the background first and just kind of painted everything in one go, because all the perspective's the same.
House. Probably not worth $41 million, but it sets that out of this whole painting, that house is pretty good. The perspective's off, but it's pretty good.
That's the point. The perspective is being off is the point of the painting. That's what makes it interesting. If you try to paint a piece where like the perspective is consistently off, but it still looks cohesive, that's pretty impressive. That's pretty hard to do. People say that it like looks childish, but it's like, try to paint like this and you'll understand why it's so difficult. I am kind of curious about these pieces that I haven't heard of, and it's like 1980. It's like, is recent. Some art historians kind of agree that painting as an art died in the 70s. And I don't know if other art schools had this, but in my art school, then the art history department and the painting department had beef. Specifically in my school, if you had a painting degree and an art history minor, you were like, ugh. And the professors had like beef with each other too. Like my first year there, then a bunch of art history professors started spreading a rumor that the painting department was being defunded. It wasn't.
Okay, next we have Roy Lichtenstein, Nude with Joyous Painting.
Bad guy. This is a bad guy.
Hey, this is like pointillism, which I really like pointillism. It's very satisfying to look at, but it's 1994. It's not anything new. Like this pointillism, I don't remember when it first became a thing, but it was way before this. It's not like he made it or created it.
I'll add to your disapproval of this man. It's stolen. This is not his piece. This is a comic artist piece that he just he blows up someone else's illustration that he doesn't credit and then just paints it in the like pointillism comic-y thing and made a ton of money off of it. He got super famous. And these smaller comic artists, because like illustration, sequential arts, for some reason it isn't held up to the same standard as painting, which makes no sense to me. But he just stole from these smaller artists, and I think he's been sued a couple times over it as well. Yeah, he sucks. This Roy, not our boy. Not our boy Roy.
Not even that interesting. Like again, okay, cool, they got a boob in it. Whoa, it's not worth $46.2 million though. It's not even good. Like I like this kind of pop art, but it's just not interesting.
He's a great businessman, not a great artist. When artists get this big and they have like a set style, usually they don't even make their own paintings anymore.
I don't understand. Art is subjective, Christina. You don't even understand. I don't understand. Help me understand. Help me understand.
I agree that this is not very good. This is a bad painting because he stole it and he didn't credit the people that he stole it from. So you're not crazy, Christina. You, I think, are very smart and educated, and you understand art better than this dude.
This is Bacon, triptych inspired by the Orestia of Aeschylus. If I can't pronounce it, it's probably expensive. And it is. It's $84.5 million.
Like, my first year of art school, I'll be completely real, I had no idea who Francis Bacon was.
But this is very interesting. I don't know what's going on. It looks like there's melted bodies in glass boxes, which is fun. But it's very interesting. Like, it's interesting to look at. I feel like the more you confuse the viewer looking at it, the more expensive it is.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of like what I said at the beginning of this. Most of these are going to be either conceptual art or abstract expressionist art because people don't understand them. Because usually there's nothing to understand. Art is gatekeeping, and for whatever reason, you have to spend like $200,000 to go to art school to learn about this shit, just so that you know that a banana taped to a wall is actually a really cool thing that they did, and it's not, it's the crisis that everybody was having over it, and the big social media explosion of like how much it sold for and stuff was actually the art piece. The art piece wasn't the banana, it was the reaction to the banana, and that's what he was trying to say, was that all of the art critics suck, and that all the soul is sucked out of art nowadays because of the people who sell the art, and because of like that nobody understands the art, and I should shut up.
Man, this is a massive painting, draws on a trilogy of Greek tragedies dating back to the 5th century BCE.
Okay, I will say this is one of the reasons why I actually like Francis Bacon. Thor likes him too. I'll respect an artist if they put a lot of thought into the piece, where it's something more than just, oh, let's see what the paint and the pigment can do on the substrate. More just like, let's see what it can do on the substrate, but I'm also going to draw on my knowledge, and I'm going to share this knowledge through this like piece, you know?
He had sold it to raise funds for his private foundation. That means he's trying to save money on taxes, people. Everything's fake, everything's a lie, art is a lie, nothing is real. Said by the great Bo Burnham.
I think a better way to talk about it is art and consumerism. Art and capitalism cannot exist together. The way that today works, especially America works, it is impossible for a fine artist to exist. When you get to a point where you're like Thomas Kincaid and you're like making paintings that just go on calendars so you can sell calendars and puzzles, and all your paintings look the same, and are they technically good? Yeah, but there's no soul in it. Dude does not care about his painting, he cares about a profit, and he's got like a team working for him. That's marketing. It's fine. I respect the hustle, but you can't call yourself a fine artist at that point, in my opinion, and my professor's opinion, because that is what I was taught. I think that art is misdefined. I believe that art is misunderstood, and it's done that way intentionally.
I am going to make a priceless $1 million item right now, and we're just gonna make it as confusing and weird as And then I'm gonna put it up on eBay and we're gonna see who bites.
So it's getting really dark with the storm rolling in, and I'm sure that the quality is suffering. I'm gonna take this off. I'm gonna lie down on the ground and die, I think. And I'll return and I'll critique Chris. Alright, so I figured I would critique this and her process the way that I would critique anybody else in school. I've done probably like 40 million bajillion critiques. You want on my lap? Is that what you're trying to jump? You want on my lap?
The palette that we're using today, and we're just gonna put those on the canvas right behind me, alright? This is gonna be dumb as but happy as well. I'm not gonna think about anything I don't really know.
A lot of people, whenever they first start art school, they say that they're an intuitive painter. There is no such thing as an intuitive painter. Everything that you do for a reason, whether you know it or not. Abstract artists, whenever they paint, they have a very specific plan. Like I said before, there is, maybe it's not a plan as much as just like you are making something based off of your knowledge as a painter. But, what was I saying? Oh god. I left my Dr. Pepper on the other side of the room. I'm almost sad about it. It's probably really hot by now. And flat. I'm gonna drink it.
I'm gonna be putting down some linseed oil, which helps the paint spread. Just kidding. Alright, we're gonna put that down in the middle of our thing here.
I'm lucky that I work with acrylic most of the time because I think I've accidentally like drank my paint water like 7 times. If you drink your paint thinner accidentally, I think you die. A lot of abstract artists work in oil paint because the pigment is a lot better and it does stay wet longer, so you can do. I hate oil paint. I despise it. I can paint in it. I've taken classes. I don't like it because it is expensive and I waste paint like a mother.
These cheapest brushes I got from, I believe, Walmart. Shout out to Walmart. Not sponsored though. I wish. This long bit.
Working with oil, usually I find it easier if you find just a piece of like plastic and you put your paints directly on there because it's easier to like mix them like with a palette knife. Just kind of like mix them around, mix your oil in, like take little scoopies, mix it in. You should never mix with your brush when you're working with oil because it's gonna ruin your brush. So and it's easy to clean because then you just you can seal it up and it can stay dry longer for a really long time actually. Or if you don't like it, you can just like take a little rubber, wait for it to dry, take a rubber scraper and get that right off.
I'm gonna just start with what I know. White. Ooh, do some swirly motions. I'm not thinking, just doing. Oh god, okay, I'm gonna put some more on. Paint's fun, isn't it? Okay, I like that color. I like that color a lot. I'm gonna add some yellow to this side, okay? Actually, no, I'm gonna add some blue. Ooh, you know what? No, I'm gonna add some white. I can't think about it, just gotta do it. All right, here we go. Oh shit, shoving that in there.
When working with oil, I'll say that your first step should always be to prime. Choose a color, whether you want it to be a cool tone, warm tones, whatever the fuck, just like choose a color. Every single freaking Renaissance painter in the history have ever used like sienna, like browns to prime their canvas, which is fine. Priming your canvas will make the pigment pop a lot more, and this is a reason why oil paint is so frustrating, is because you have to wait for each layer to dry. Sometimes that takes weeks depending on how much oil you mixed into it, but priming your canvas, do that.
And I'm only using one brush because I'm lazy. Okay, now I'm gonna put blue. Some blue. Yeah. This is ugly. This is making me so upset right now.
What was it that I wasn't allowed to buy white oil paint, but we use like Naples yellow or something, I think, as like a white replacement.
Okay, I think next we need to just add some linseed oil and just mix this. Oh yeah, let these meet. Like there's some deeper meaning behind it.
If you are trying to cover a large piece of the canvas, use a big brush. Just, take the L, buy a giant brush. It doesn't even have to be a brush. You could just like take your hands and just like, maybe not with oil paint, because you're not supposed to get oil paint on your skin. I know, I didn't learn that until my senior year, like my last class my senior year. So I might die of oil paint poisoning. Am I going to be wearing gloves when I paint with oil in the future? No, I'll just die. That's fine. I'd rather die than wear gloves while painting. But I care about your well-being and your well-being. You're not supposed to be getting that on your hands. But anyways, I would, big brush, cover big piece of canvas easier because, first of all, you want that shit to dry before you go in with your next layer. Unless you don't. I'm not you, but it just saves time. I'm ADHD as fuck. I have a very small window in which I can create, and I need my creation to work, or I'm gonna lose interest.
Okay, that's fun. For the grand finale, I think we should just like spritz black in it or something, as if that means something, you know?
So I get that this is like satirical in a way, and it is not lost on me that she is making fun of these stupid art critics and stuff that, you know, sell for billion dollars and stuff, but pretty much every painting is going to have an artist's statement with it, where the artist talks about the piece. If there is some sort of deeper meaning in it, no matter how stupid it may be, because sometimes they're pretty fucking dumb, then that's where it will be, and then you can judge the painting and be like, you know, this is just blue. What the fuck do you mean it's talking about the emotional state of pigeons? Lee Krasner's, I think, I've brought her up so many times, but she's just my favorite example, and one of my favorite, like, big name artists. I think of her Peach piece. The artist statement for that is beautiful. Her interviews are beautiful. She's talking about her struggles as a female artist, especially back then whenever they weren't recognized in galleries, even though her work is way better than Jackson Pollock's. And so, you know, but if you were listening to an art critic just be like, and this is Jackson Pollock's wife. She used his studio sometimes. Isn't it cute? Look at her paint with pink. $40 billion. I might die tonight.
Well, this is the ugliest piece of shit I've ever created, and let's put it on Etsy and see how much we can sell it.
If this was hung on the wall during critique, I'm gonna be completely honest with you, Chris. You would fail. Mostly because they would know that, first of all, you made this in one sitting, and you're not supposed to do that with paintings. I mean, you can with some paintings. I mean, some of the stuff that they would force us to do was they would force us to do 1 hour paintings where we would be given a canvas about this size, and I'd have to make 10 1-hour paintings by that Thursday, which was the end of like the week. And you know, sometimes it would make shit like this, but like the difference is they're not supposed to be good. They're supposed to be exercises. Like, what did you learn while you were painting this? Well, you learned that, I don't know what you learned. My point is, you know, if I made this and I'm making a larger piece and I'm looking at this and I'm like, what did I learn from this? What do I like in this? Okay, well, I learned that little finger doody daddies can make cool textures. I learned that, you know, the blue is really pretty. I like the circles. I might tie the circles in somewhere, you know? So I take just little bits out of this exercise and put them in a larger piece that I actually cared about. I critiqued your process. As you saw, there's not really much that I could say about the end product because she didn't really put anything there, you know, on purpose. I understand this is a joke. Okay. Spoiler alert, it didn't sell. There's so many super talented artists that just never see any profit from their paintings because people just, you know, rich people have bad taste. Sorry. So, anyways, but what I figured I would go ahead and show you now is, I do work in an abstract sometimes. I do abstracted figures most of the time, but I do have a couple pieces that I've done that are, you know, I do enjoy abstract.
Alright, I figured I'd been yapping long enough and I should probably wrap this up. I was gonna show you how I go about painting an abstract piece. I think that's for another video. Otherwise, this video is gonna be like 50 hours long. These are two abstracts that I've done. They're both 40 by 62 inches. I stretched the canvas myself because I had to. I didn't have a choice. But this first one that I did, the blue and some of the red is matte, and then all of the black and the rest of the red is gloss, and so it kind of looked like it's popping off of the canvas. So that's cool. That's fun to look at. It's kind of like an exploration on, I don't know, shapes that look cool. And then this next piece that I did, it was a bit more, I was trying to show personality a bit more. It turned into early 2000s Hot Topic. That's fun. This, if you want a painting that screams knee-high checkered Converse boots, then moral of the story is, KallMeKris is actually a fantastic painter. If you watch her videos and you can see some of the paintings that she does, she actually is very talented. a lot more talented than I am. I'm gonna be real. Especially her portraiture and the way that she uses light, it's amazing. So that's cool. I didn't want this video to seem like I was harping on her or like trying to like look down on her or look down at anybody who doesn't have an art degree. It's more like I feel guilty for getting an art degree and I need to use this knowledge somewhere. And so I am pouring it onto YouTube, and I'm using poor, innocent YouTubers that have talked about art in the past as like a jumping off point to talk about art. So other than that, cool. Thank you. If you do want, I do sell prints of my paintings, these two abstracts included. They are not ridiculously priced. They're $20. They're also not on Etsy. They are on my website, Renders Fine Arts with an S.com. So you can go there and you can get yourself some stuff if you want some stuff, or if you just want to support an artist, that artist being me, you can go to my Patreon, which would also be cool. That's gonna be Ren Raccoon. I also post my stupid little animations on TikTok that you can see, or my stupid little animations on Instagram that you can see. Next video is gonna be not on painting, so look forward to that, I guess. If you hate painting and don't want me to talk about it again, then I won't be in the next video. Anyways, bye.